Hello everybody, happy Friday, hope you're doing very well. 2 videos in 1 week, what's going on? Well, of course you know that I have 2 more shirts to show you that I was generously gifted over the Christmas period, and we've got a bit of a doozy here. It's a current season shirt, so I best show you before the season finishes, and it's one that I reckon a lot of you will be familiar with. You'll be familiar with the club to some degree, so let's just show you which one it is. And here is the rear of the shirt. So it's a white body, or at least on the back of the shirt it's a white body. You've got a little bit of sponsor at the bottom there. And then on the back of the neck, you just quite simply have the club name, a motif of the club name. It's one that is, over the last few years, has gained a little bit more notoriety. 5 years ago, you'd have been excused for maybe not being too familiar with them. Now, with the level of investment that they're putting into the club, they're going to be on people's minds a little bit more. Let's bring it round to the front, and there is the design of the shirt. So it's still that white body, and then you've got obviously the Adidas logo. It's an Adidas shirt. You've got the club crest. You've got the Uber sponsor, which is a pretty clean sponsor, to be honest. Of all the sponsors that existed, I think Uber's pretty decent. And then at the bottom, you've got these interesting sort of columns of decreasing size with an interesting graphic on there. Maybe you can or can't determine what that specifically is, but if you look at the shirt in general, it's just a very nice, clean effort, isn't it? Very, very good. Like I said, it'll be a club you may be familiar with, but if not, I will trust the mannequin and give you some information about this particular club, and of course the shirt. Rightio then, so there is the shirt, and it just fits pretty normally. It's an Adidas medium. It's pretty standard across all of the shirts that they offer. The club is Como 1907. Probably one that you're somewhat familiar with, and this is their away shirt from the current season 24-25. This would have been bought from Classic Football Shirts, or it should have been bought from Classic Football Shirts, because they would have had 20% off during Black Friday, and at the time of recording you can still get all sizes, though it is $79.99 without any sort of promotional savings or anything like that, which that's not a cheap shirt. That's £80. Italian shirts generally are a little bit more expensive, especially if you are buying from Italy. But obviously if you have 20% off, it makes it a little bit more palatable, especially for a shirt that maybe isn't as exciting as some others. So they also have the home and the third shirts. The home is simply a sort of a darker navy blue, and the third shirt is a black shirt, and it follows the same design. So each one has this sort of columns or a graphic on the front, and I felt personally that it looked better with the white background than with the blue or the black. I suppose at the end of the day it's entirely up to you what you want to go for, but for me I just thought the white looked a little bit cleaner. Anyway, of course, so the club was founded in 1907. Well, what a guess that is there. And they come from the city of Como, which, again, what a surprise, which is on the very north of Italy. So I've got quite a few teams from that sort of particular region recently. They currently play in Serie A. They're in the top division at the time of recording. They're roughly around about 13th place, which is pretty decent. You know, it's a steady away. Though they're only a few games away from relegation zones. So it's, you know, they're not out of the water yet. Also, it's all the more impressive considering that they were promoted last season. They finished second in Serie B, I believe it was. So, yeah, for any team that's performing decently well when promoted, I don't think we can say anything against that. What you can say against them, though, is that they currently have the richest football club owners in Italy, simply put. Which kind of makes sense considering the amount of waves that they've been trying to make in Italian football. So I expect to see them maybe pushing closer towards European spots over the next 3-4 seasons, possibly. They also have some minor stakeholders, such as Thierry Henry and current head coach Cesc Fabregas. So I think Fabregas went there just to do a kind of retirement job, and then ended up becoming, like, I think it was player coach, and then now he's like the coach. So it's one of those clubs where they're going to have a little bit of influence through ex-professionals, it seems, and then maybe they might go off on a tangent and try and become just more of a general club. In fact, it's not all been sunshine and rainbows for this club, because even as recent as 2016, the club went bankrupt. Italian football, that's just what they do these days. You just go bankrupt and then you get relegated to the 6th tier or whatever it is. And then suddenly, 3 years later, you're back in the top division. So I don't really think that's going to happen now they've got this investment. But it just shows you that, you know, if your team does disappear, then there's always a chance that you will find yourselves back. They have been in Serie A at some point, if I remember correctly, but it has been a while. Of course, what they've been doing with their investing, they've been just grabbing some players. If you go look on the Wikipedia page, there's some names in there, obviously Italian ones, but there's a few interesting foreigners, and one of those, his most recent addition, is Dele Alli. Dele Alli has just recently signed. I don't know if it's a short-term contract to the end of the season, but it's an opportunity to try and reignite his career. So yeah, interesting. Of course, Fabregas is the manager, with him being ex-Chelsea player. You know, it's always interesting to see how those players do, because you never know, one day they may be managing Chelsea themselves. Yeah, so that's a cool one. And I'm only like 3 away from having all of Serie A before they get relegated again, so we shall see. It's an Adidas shirt, and it's pretty simple, really. On the back of the neck, of course, you have that motif, which just simply has the club name. And then you have those columns there, which... if you don't really know much about Como, I suspect you probably still have heard of Lake Como, which is obviously the massive lake, beautiful, picturesque landscape, and I think that's kind of the reason why the investors bought the club, because players may be more interested in living in the area there. I personally would anyway. And anyway, this graphic here is just simply to represent the lake, so it's just water. Just water going up in various degrees. I don't know if this is just to suggest maybe some... I don't know, improvement in promotion from the bottom to the top. Could be. That could be what it is. Maybe I've just made that up. But other than that, there is literally nothing else to give. They were with Araya for some seasons. In fact, the shirts that they had for the past 2 seasons, they carried across. And there were some interesting designs, quite popular with shirt collectors, to be honest. They had the interesting sponsor as well. Was it Mola, which is like a fish thing? I don't know if that was like a supermarket or something. Whereas this one is just really, really basic. Probably would have preferred the Araya one. Probably, maybe. But this one's fine. I think this is okay. And obviously, my Italian collection has grown a little bit more. So that's it. That's the one from 24-25. I haven't got really too many this year. I am also thinking, I don't think Chelsea are going to get a front sponsor, are they? No. And the season's, whilst not over, it's over halfway. I don't think it's going to happen, so I may have to just buy them without, which will be an absolute kick in the teeth if they do get a sponsor, but I'm sure I can find that loosely. I have one more to show you now from my Christmas earnings, gifts, and then I will start opening up that one there, which it should be good. Some good stuff. Anyway, guys, hope you have a great weekend ahead. We are, 1 week away from February? It's going fast already. Anyway, yes, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!